This is a bookable summary of the book, Secrets of Power Negotiating by Roger Dawson. Negotiating is a crucial skill in many aspects of life, and being a skilled negotiator can help you achieve your goals, whether in business, personal relationships, or other areas. The following are some effective strategies for successful negotiations that can help you get what you want, while also building good relationships with the other party. 1. Bracketing to establish a favorable negotiating range. In his book, Secrets of Power Negotiating, Roger Dawson highlights a critical strategy for setting up a favorable negotiating range, asking for more than you expect to receive. This approach allows you to avoid the common mistake of giving up too much ground too early in the negotiation process. To illustrate this strategy, let's consider the example of buying a new car. Suppose the salesperson's asking price is $18,000 and you want to bring it down to $15,000. If you begin by offering $15,000, you may end up conceding a significant portion of your desired price reduction before the negotiation has even begun. Instead, you should use the bracketing technique, making an initial offer that is lower than your target price, but not so low that it appears unreasonable. In this scenario, you could propose an initial offer of $12,000, which is $3,000 lower than your target price, but also $6,000 lower than the salesperson's asking price. This offer brackets your target price by creating negotiating space on either side of it. The resulting negotiating range allows you and the salesperson to work toward a compromise, with your target price positioned as the midpoint. If you are on the other side of the negotiation, the same principles apply, but in reverse. Suppose you are a widget salesperson, and your potential buyer offers to pay you $1.50 per widget. Your desired price is $1.75. In this case, your initial counteroffer should be higher than your target price, creating negotiating space on either side of it. For example, you could propose a counteroffer of $2, with 25 cents of negotiating space on either side of your desired price. This approach allows you to establish a negotiating range that includes your desired price as the midpoint. 2. Negotiating gambits, applications and examples in sales transactions. The strategy of asking for a better deal than you expect to receive is a fundamental aspect of negotiating favorable outcomes in sales transactions. However, this gambit can be applied in other non-monetary aspects of deals, such as requesting an unrealistic number of revisions to paperwork during a real estate transaction. Negotiating gambits have broad applications outside of business as well, such as political negotiations between governments. While the following examples will primarily focus on sales transactions, it's worth noting that the same ideas can be tweaked to fit the role of either the buyer or the seller. Playing the reluctant seller is another gambit that can help to narrow the negotiating range in your favor, as it can discourage lowball initial offers. However, your counterpart can also use the tactic of acting like a reluctant buyer to narrow the negotiating range in their favor. 3. The power of verbal and nonverbal language in negotiating. In the world of negotiating, words and body language can be equally powerful. Using a combination of both can help to widen your negotiating range and establish your desired target price. One common technique is flinching, where you react visibly to an initial offer to show that it is unacceptable to you. Another technique is using the vice technique, where you respond to an initial offer by calmly saying, "You'll have to do better than that," to shift the negotiating ball back to the other party. It's important to keep in mind that words and nonverbal cues work hand in hand and can make a big impact on the outcome of negotiation. Never accept the first offer. When negotiating, it's important to remember one of the cardinal rules of power negotiating. Never accept the other party's initial offer, even if it seems like a great deal. By making a counteroffer and negotiating further, you could potentially get an even better deal. Accepting the first offer could lead to missed opportunities or even leave you feeling frustrated with yourself for not pushing harder. In a successful negotiation, both parties should leave feeling like they won, and this can only happen when both parties engage in fair and reasonable negotiation process. If you're finding this video to be enjoyable, show your support by liking it and subscribing to my channel for even more fantastic content. Your encouragement means everything to me and drives me to keep creating videos for you. 5. Use the bracketing technique to taper concessions in the middle phase of negotiation. In this phase, both parties try to converge on the deal by making further counteroffers. To ensure that your target price stays within the midpoint of your negotiating range, continue using the bracketing technique. Always taper your concessions into smaller and smaller increments and avoid giving away 3 concessions of equal size in a row. This creates a stronger impression that you're reaching your limit, rather than making big concessions that abruptly slamming the brakes. 6. Always ask for a trade-off. During the middle phase of a negotiation, it's important to make shrewd concessions to ensure that the other party gives up an equal or greater amount of ground in response. Use the trade-off gambit and never concede without asking for one in return. When the other party asks for a concession, take advantage of the opportunity to gain something in return. If you fail to ask for a concession, you encourage the other party to be greedy. 7. Invoke higher authority to avoid making concessions. If you find yourself in a situation where the other party is making unreasonable requests and you don't want to make a concession, employ the higher authority gambit. Pretend that there's someone else who has to approve the request before you can agree to it. This makes it easier for you to say no without appearing uncooperative or adversarial. 8. Call in a third party or be prepared to walk away if negotiations get bogged down. When negotiations become deadlocked, consider calling in a neutral third party, such as a mediator or arbitrator, or even someone who can act as an intermediary to offer a fresh perspective and suggest new solutions. However, if the other party is unwilling to budge on something that is truly unacceptable to you, be prepared to walk away from the deal, and make sure you communicate this clearly to the other party. Projecting this ability and willingness to walk away from a deal can give you an advantage in negotiations, as it makes the other party more reluctant to push you too far. 9. Set aside sticking points. When an issue becomes a sticking point, you can try shaking things up, changing the setting of the negotiation, lightening the mood by talking about hobbies or industry gossip, or switching up the members of your negotiating team. Another option is to use the set aside gambit, where you set aside the issue that's the sticking point and focus on the other ones where you can find common ground. You can always circle back to the sticking point during the end phase of the negotiation. This serves a strategic purpose because having worked through many other issues, the other party will be reluctant to lose the deal over a single detail. 10. Take advantage of psychological foibles. At the end phase of negotiation, using the psychological fables of the other party can help pressure them to making a concession they might not have otherwise made. The set-aside gambit and nibbling are two such tactics. With nibbling, you wait until the final moments of the negotiation, and then, right when it seems like you've reached a deal, you ask for a small concession. Since the other party has invested a lot of time and energy into the negotiation, and feels like they are nearing the finish line, they'll be more receptive to making a compromise. 11. The two-step maneuver of withdrawing an offer. If the other party in the negotiation becomes too greedy, one can use the tactic of withdrawing an offer to bring the negotiation to a close. This tactic takes advantage of the fact that people don't like to lose something they believe is already theirs. To execute this maneuver, one should first inform the other party that their request will be taken to a higher authority for approval. Then, when returning with the news, inform them that not only was their request denied, but the original offer has also been rescinded. It is crucial to act apologetically, hide behind the higher authority, and provide a plausible excuse to minimize the other party's wrath. 12. Be the last person to give a concession and let the other side feel like they won. On the other hand, when negotiations have been successful and the other party has made many concessions, one can use the tactic of positioning for easy acceptance. This tactic involves offering a small freebie, no strings attached, to soften the blow of the previous concessions and help the other party feel good about accepting the deal. By being the last person to give a concession, the other party can agree to the deal while feeling like they won the final victory. It is important to act like the other party got the better deal and congratulate them on a job well done, as a win-win negotiation is one in which both parties feel like they have won. We hope this video provided valuable insights and information for you. In negotiating, which do you believe is more effective, using verbal language or nonverbal cues? Let us know in the comments. And if you learned something new in this video, make sure to hit the button and subscribe for more videos. Thank you, and until next time.